to talk about the Ryans on Seeking Sister Wives Season 5 because they have truly the most horrific backstory I think I've ever seen of a family getting cast on TLC. I'm honestly shocked, even though I probably shouldn't be, that TLC would even cast this couple in the first place. We have so much to talk about. Let's get into today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. Honey Boo Boo should be wondering what the heck made her family so special as to be singled out by TLC for them to have taken a moral stance against. Remember, TLC cut ties with the family when it came out that Mama June was dating a known child predator who had victimized one of her own daughters. And it's worth noting that an entire season of Honey Boo Boo never saw the light of day because the network chose to scrap the series entirely and left a reported 6 months worth of footage left unaired. It seems this is the last time TLC took the high road when it came to a series rocked by controversy. Seeking Sister Wife is in the midst of its 5th season, and while some controversial couples like the Snowdens are no longer part of the series, the show is still going strong, depicting the misadventures in polygamy with the likes of the hot mess Merrifields. The premise of the show is a couple or a family are seeking to add an additional wife to the mix. A fairly simple premise, yet it seems extremely difficult to execute as TLC seems hell-bent on only featuring couples with an aversion to ethical non-monogamy. Enter into this mix the Ryans.
I'm Justin. This is
Becky.
my wife. Oh. We grew up together. She was a few years younger than me. She was like trying to ask me out early teens. She just kept coming and coming like we need to get married. We got married when I was 19 and she was 16.
Being in high school and being married was actually kind of normal where I was. Our church believed in polygamy as an option. My dad was the pastor of the church. He got other wives. Growing up in a polygamous household, to me, was never a negative.
So Justin says Becky was this pesky young teenager just relentlessly pursuing him. And then finally, when Becky reached the ripe old age of 16, he gave in and married her. I am already uncomfy with all of this. Becky goes on to say that her dad was the pastor of the church she grew up in and polygamy was an option. She says her dad was a biblical scholar who uncovered all of these passages in the Bible that supported the polygamous lifestyle. So just who was Becky Ryan's dad? Well, TikTok cult a clock. This is where the already questionable recanting of this courtship takes a seriously sinister turn. Sarcasm.net actually compiled all of the information coming to light in a really succinct article, so I will list that in the description of this video. As Sarcasm reports, Becky's dad, it was her stepdad actually, was Tony Alamo, a cult leader who married multiple underage girls as young as 8 years old. Tony Alamo, born Bernie Lazar Hoffman, was sentenced to 175 years in prison in 2009 after being found guilty of transporting 5 girls across state lines for sex. Check out this clip that Sarcasm found of a Fox News phone interview that Tony Alamo did.
Tony, I don't want to interrupt you, but I just want to ask you, isn't it true that you were accused in the past of polygamy, and that for those at home who aren't sure what that means, it means including marrying young girls that are younger than the age of consent, marrying them to older men that eventually would want to have sex?
That isn't true. Polygamy is in the Bible, and it's condoned by God. Now, if you weasels have got a complaint about God, you go to him and talk to him about that. I just preach the Bible, and
Right, but marrying a minor is not necessarily something that you would say God would condone, right?
I never married any minor.
But a lot of polygamous compounds, as you know, do marry children that are underage, and a lot of child abuse takes part in that. I mean, that is a fact. You have to admit that that does go on in this country, and God's got nothing to do with that.
Well, God does have something to do. I don't know what you're talking The Bible states that the legal age for marriage is at puberty. I'm not married to any teenage girls who don't want to be. I'm 74 years old.
I don't remember reading that in the Bible, sir.
The love of God never changed.
10-year-olds shouldn't be married. Let's just say that. And they should be waiting a lot longer before they spend the rest of their lives with an adult.
Hey,
all right.
Listen, you just talk. You want to interview me, or you just want to yap your stupid mouth off?
All right, Tony. You know what? I'm not going to call you any names.
Ugh. Thankfully, this dude ends up dying in prison. But in a horrific turn of events, it looks like Tony's stepdaughter and her husband are perpetuating the cycle because, in Becky's own words from the show,
growing up in a polygamous household, to me, was never a negative.
Justin's dad actually wrote a letter in support of Tony Alamo. There's this website, TonyAlamoNews.com, which has a compilation of all of this evidence from the case. And on this website, they have a letter written by Mark Cunene, Justin's dad. So the website notes that this letter to the editor was published in the Southwest Times Record in Fort Smith, Arkansas on October 3rd, 2008. Mark Cunene claims he is not a member of Alamo's cult, but fails to mention that he was a member for over 35 years and currently is still a sympathizer. He also neglected to mention that his son Justin married Tony Alamo's stepdaughter Becky when she was 15, and they now have many children together. Well, we find out on the show they have 6 kids together, so it looks like there's also some discrepancy between how old Becky actually was when she married Justin. On the show, she claims she was 16, but here on this website, they are claiming she was 15. But nevertheless, it is agreed upon that she, of course, was the aggressor in the pursuit of this relationship. Justin's dad writes in this letter, "I would caution you Christians out there before you jump on the bandwagon to help crucify Tony Alamo and his church. I don't go to his church, nor am I a member, but I sure see a strange inconsistency in what the government and media are saying about him and backsliding former members are saying and the works that he and his church are doing. For more than 40 years, they have been going after the lost and dying that few will help or care about. I believe he and his church have won more souls than all the churches put together. Christians, do you not think that there is not going to be retaliation from Satan and the government when someone exposes their atrocities? And the Vatican plans to destroy and take over this once great nation. Come on, beware, Christians. We are living in the last days. Quote, it's been given unto Satan to make war against the saints, Revelations 13:7. And quote, and even the very elect would be deceived if it were possible. Matthew 24:24. It's just more lies and false accusations from the beast Satan. Mark Cunene. Yikes. All the way on bikes. On the show, Becky is hopeful about their prospects for landing a sister wife, as she is confident she will kick ass at polygamy, unlike her mother.
My mom's kind of a loner typically, so she didn't have the great bonding experience that I know I'll have.
Becky, maybe your mom didn't have a great bonding experience with her sister wives because your mom was middle-aged and her sister wives were in middle school. I wouldn't expect your mom to have anything in common with them, and that is why this is a big issue that your dad thought all of this was okay. The Ryans say on the show that they have been trying to obtain a sister wife for over 20 years, and they haven't been successful. They do have a potential sister wife named Stephanie who clearly asked for anonymity because she has her face blurred in all the photos they show. And gee, I wonder why. But they meet Desiree on the show who shockingly agreed to go out with them. But thankfully in episode 4, we see her back out. And Desiree, you really dodged a bullet, girl. James, Amanda, and I will be live tonight to discuss episode 4 more in depth, and I am sure that we will be discussing the Ryans a lot. Be sure to check out that Starcasm article for more information on the Ryans if you're interested, and as always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Check out my second channel, Sarah Spills. A link for that will be in the description of this video. Follow me on Instagram, Threads, and X at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.